This video was made possible by the EA Creator Network. Hello everyone, welcome on in to The Sims 4. I'm Velvet and thanks for joining me as I build a summer camp. And we are in Gibbi Point today, which is the new pack that came out recently in The Sims 4. And Gibbi Point is inspired a little bit by New Zealand, which is pretty exciting because I'm from New Zealand, and the fact that we have a pack out there in the world that has some inspiration from New Zealand is honestly quite amazing to me. It makes me so very delighted and happy that we've got a little piece of New Zealand in this game. Well, a little bit more than a little piece. There's a good chunk of New Zealand in this game, so it delights me. And so today I'm building my very first custom venue, in the sense that this is a summer camp, and I've never built a summer camp before, so first time doing it. I had a lot of fun putting this together and just working out how I was kind of gonna do it. And the idea behind this camp is that I wanted to have 4 cabins. So the 4 cabins would sleep 2 kids. So this is kind of like a kids summer camp. And in the main house, that's where your camp counselors, people that run the camp kind of live. So there's 3 bedrooms there for the camp counselors, because a lot of the setup, or the basic setup for a camp or a summer camp in this game, is that you can have up to 8 kids join the summer camp, and then you can have, I think, around about 3 counselors, although you may be able to adjust that and customize it. I was just going off the basic preset that is in place already for camps in the game, and that was kind of like the 3 counselors and the 8 kids. So that's how I set the camp up. And in this camp, I used only the Adventure Awaits pack, so Adventure Awaits and base game only. So you don't need any further additional packs than that. So it's just the 2 packs, nice and easy, lemon squeezy. And I used a lot of debug because, we needed to stretch a little bit more in terms of the decoration that was available outside of debug. So I did go into the whole debug side of things. So there is debug, but yeah, other than that, just the 2 packs. I mean, the debug is from Adventure Awaits and base game anyhow, so they are part of the packs. So the idea is that we've got lots of activities to do on the summer camp, because I feel like if you're going to camp, you are going to be doing activities. That's the whole point, right? You're going to wear yourself out every day, going outside and doing different activities. So I'm setting up a big dock area. Now, this particular lot in Gibbi Point is a Camp Gibbi. And this lot actually works a lot like the lots, or exactly like the lots in Sulani. So in Sulani, if you're not familiar with Sulani, the lots in there, if they are connected to water, which this lot is, you can't actually build pools or basements without a mod. So going into anything in the lower levels is just basically a no-go. You can't actually put flooring down on this lot either. So that's another thing which is quite interesting about this lot, is that, you can't have basements, you can't have pools, and you can't put flooring down. So I had to rely on terrain paint to really make the paths work on this particular lot, which is fine because it works, it works that the terrain paint can be a lot more fluid, and you can, get the curves and that sort of thing happening. But, if you're wondering why I didn't put any flooring down or any pools or anything like that, that's why, because it works exactly the same as one of the water lots in Sulani. So yeah, it has a few restrictions in it to be aware of if you're building on this particular lot. And not too bad of restrictions, but it's something to be aware of, I think. So I have my water dock area. So in that I'll add the kayaks, and so you can go around and do kayaking, and there's like the little dock connections as well, so you can kind of jump in and out of the water, just like a pool ladder run, but for the open water. And we have, as you can see here, I'm setting up the archery area. So I did that, so you can have an archery session with your camp counselor. There was lots of landscaping work to be done in this, so I tried not to go overboard. I don't know if I succeeded, but I did try. And did, like, using the debug items from eventual weights to create I basically create the landscaping. And the reason that I did that is I wanted it to match the world around, around the camp. So, by matching to the debug landscaping items from that particular pack, it's going to match the world. And yeah, it adds a little bit of cohesion, I think, between the world and the build itself. And it looks a lot more naturally placed in that, in that area. So it is very much designed to be on this lot specifically. So if you are looking to place this in your game, it does go on the Camp Gibbi lot in Gibbi Point. Very, very specifically, because I don't think there's any other lot like this in Gibbi Point with the water and everything like that. So, it's one of those builds where you can't really put it anywhere else where it will sensibly work, I think. I mean, in theory, you could probably put it in Solani somewhere, maybe. I mean, there is a possibility of that. I didn't even think about that. But you could. I don't know. If somebody ever does that, let me know, because I'm curious. Anyway, so that you can sort of see the camp is starting to come together. I went with the darker wood, a lighter roof there, and that's me just adding the paper crafting to the picnic tables, and a little playground there as well for the kids. Obviously get their playground up. Although you do need to make sure that if you are doing the slide, if it's a really hot day, just be aware you might get the burning hot warning. And if you get the burning hot warning when using that metal slide, it'll say, I don't know, say something along the lines of this slide will be burning hot in summer, and it says also don't do this, because what happens when you slide down that slide on a hot day is that your sim sets themselves on fire. So please be aware of that and be wary of that. If you don't want your sim to be set on fire by the slide, then be very careful during hot weather with using that particular slide. The swing should be perfectly safe, just the slide being a little bit dodgy. Interestingly enough, and this was something I sort of discovered as I was kind of building and doing what I was doing, is that I realized that I didn't think about the fact of stairs when I was making the cabins, because I put the cabins on an angle just for the look of it, because I thought it would look cool. And then I didn't think about the fact that the stairs were going to be awkward on an angle, because anytime you build on an angle and you have raised buildings, and you have to have raised buildings on this lot because it makes you have a foundation, so I couldn't put the cabins down any further to the ground. I didn't think about the fact that I was going to have to put an angled piece on each of the cabins to allow the cabins to be accessible with stairs, because the stairs can only really connect to an angled piece, like a triangle platform piece, on an angle like they are. So did that make any sense? I don't know, but I knew what I was trying to say. There was angles, and I had to angle the stairs and put them on triangles to make it work. Long story short, and I did like a little spin bike area. I thought that would be fun. Maybe then the camp counselors might want to do like a little session just to keep their fitness up in between sessions with the kids and that sort of thing. I thought that'd be fun, like a little gym workout area for the adults in the camp. I mean, the kids might want to go up and do it as well. You never know. And then, so basically just decorating the deck areas on the exterior. Now, I probably skip over some of the landscaping and, little bits and pieces in this. But, it's nothing, you won't be missing out on anything too exciting here. But I thought this was, like, really cute, just having a little porch area, and it's all lit up with your lanterns and what have you. I really like the little candle lantern things that we got with this pack as well. I thought that was really cool. So this is the main building that I'm working on at the moment. So the main building has the bedrooms for the camp counselors. So it's going to be 3 bedrooms plus a bathroom upstairs and a little hangout area on the landing as well. And there's some bits and pieces that they can do out on the balcony that's attached to that area. So I did like a barbecue. I think I did some tables. I think I did a chess set out here and maybe a telescope as well. I think that's what I did up here. So I did want to make it an area that was going to be practical for the camp counselors to use, and perhaps do some skill building on, and actually be like a proper hangout area. So that was kind of the intention behind this balcony, as a like a personal sort of wind down space while the kids are in their cabins in the evenings or whatever, when they need to get away from the kids. This is their space. So, and on the bottom level, there is the kitchen. There's the communal dining space, and also an office area as well. So that's what you'll see in the rest of this building, is those sort of more communal spaces. But I felt like it needed an office space as well, just for the camp counselors to be able to do their work and what have you there. Oh, and some bathrooms as well, just like a little tiny toilets, basically. I just felt like it was going to be appropriate for the kids to have a toilet in the eating area, because kids they would otherwise have to either run upstairs and use the personal bathroom of the camp counselors, or they'd have to run all the way back to the cabins. So I felt like that wasn't particularly practical. So I was just like, okay, let's put just like a sneaky little bathroom in beside the stairs in that main area. And just getting a little bit more landscaping done around the around the bottom of the cabins there as well. Getting that on. And what else have we got? So lots of different landscaping. So I definitely used a lot more items from around the place, from Adventure Awaits, in terms of, as I talked about, just the debug items. There wasn't, besides the butterfly topiaries, there wasn't actually any outdoor landscaping stuff that was available through the regular build by menu with Adventure Awaits. So if you do want to get any of the landscaping items for Adventure Awaits, you do need to delve into the debug area of the game. Just the way it works sometimes with these packs. And I say sometimes, I mean pretty much all the time. We very rarely get new build by landscaping items that are actually out in the main build by menu. Normally it's all hidden away in debug, which is a shame. But I'm not going to get on that topic again, because it's something that bugs me. It genuinely is. I think it should all be just out and available to everybody to use, okay? It's just my feelings on it. So what I'm working on at the moment is just practical paving. So just making little paths through to each of the cabins, because I did kind of forget some of the paths around the cabins, and just adding in like little bits of landscaping and bushes and stuff around the place, just to make it feel like it's all very natural, and a few sort of moss covered rocks and bits and pieces like that. There's actually some really nice items in the build by debug area in Adventure Awaits. So I've really enjoyed exploring the debug items with that pack, because there is some really cool stuff. And if you do feel like venturing into the pack and some of those debug items, I think you're going to have a good time. There's some nice stuff, as I said. But you definitely, if you want to do any sort of landscaping that matches the world, then you're going to have to go in there anyway. It's just the way it works. It makes me sad every time, but it is what it is, right? So getting towards, I think, the end of the landscaping. Oh, I found a flagpole, and I was just like, oh, perfect. And the other thing I liked was like the driftwood. Driftwood isn't new to The Sims 4. We've had it before in other packs, I think, like Cats and Dogs and probably Island Living as well. But it was nice to have it with this pack, because I'm doing this as a limited pack build. And, it's quite a waterside world. Like, it's a lot of beaches and a lot of water in this world. So it kind of made sense to me that it would have, like, quite a bit of beachwood? Driftwood. Driftwood attached to it as well. So, it made sense for the type of pack and the type of world that it is to have driftwood available as part of the debug menu. So I enjoyed being able to use it. That was nice. And it worked with our beachside cabins. So we are moving to the interior of our main building. So this is where the office, the kitchen, and the shared communal dining area is. So I'm just using one of the wallpapers from Adventure Awaits, which is kind of like a cabiny inside wallpaper. I went with the light woods on the inside because I felt like I wanted to contrast with maybe some darker furnishings against the light wood, because we had all of the dark wood on the exterior, and I thought, well, let's do a little bit of a contrast on the inside just to make it interesting. I actually ended up putting an extra, when I was playtesting, I ended up putting an extra oven in here. And the reason for that is when the camp is scheduled, because I went in there and playtested it as an actual living camp that's working. And the camp, when it's working, has like a schedule. So, between 6 and 8, the camp counselors are cooking and the kids are eating. And, you know, when you've got 3 camp counselors in the kitchen all cooking for the kids, it gets actually quite crammed in there in terms of just like the oven space. And, you know, the fridge is okay because they're kind of in and out of that quite quickly. But when you have to go in there and cook and you've got 3 camp counselors in there cooking, yeah, the oven space is kind of at a premium. So I kind of felt like for a working, functioning summer camp, it made a lot more sense to have the 2 ovens in there, and it just made it a lot easier on the camp counselors to use that space effectively and you know, make their meals that they're trying to make. So yeah, that was one of the things I did change about the kitchen, was that sort of practical aspect of it, just having the 2 ovens in there for all of the camp counselors to use. It's quite interesting just watching this summer camp actually be used as a summer camp as well. Like, I really enjoyed just like playtesting it, because I was just watching each of the, you know, all the campers and counselors just go around and do their little schedules. So that, you know, they'd go do archery, and then they'd go do the kayaking, and they'd like eat at a certain time, and then they'd go back to their cabins and sleep. And yeah, it was actually really cool just watching them do that, and the whole cabin and summer camp be functional like that. And I was just like, oh, I built that, and now they're using it, and they're actually going around and they're doing the things. And yeah, it was really fun. So I enjoyed that, and I like the gameplay aspect of that, in the sense that you can do something more with the kids. You know, you can go off and you can do the summer camp adventure without the parents. And yeah, I like that idea, and it was a lot of fun to actually go on a summer camp at this camp. I mean, I had to fix things up as I went, because, you know, it's playtesting and that's always the way. But it was a lot of fun to play with it as I went along. And there wasn't too much fixing. There's like little bits and pieces that, you know, you kind of miss in the rush of building sometimes, and a couple of little things here and there to fix. But it wasn't too bad. It was like fairly well set up to work. So I was happy with it. But this is the little office area. I like the idea of sort of hanging the bags off the coat hook and the sort of game assorted items shelf. So I thought that was fun, like a couple of backpacks in there. And because, you know, I just feel like camp counselors a lot of the time would be students as well. So maybe they take the time to do a bit of studying in between getting ready for their classes the next year, and, you know, stuff like that. That's a possibility. Why not? And then we're moving to the top floor of our main bedroom, main building, which is the 3 bedrooms and a bathroom. So it's going to be a large bathroom for the counselors to share, and then a separate bedroom each. So, you know, that's not too bad. They don't have to share their bedrooms. So I feel like, you know, having to share a bathroom when they don't have to share the bedrooms. I'd rather share a bathroom than a bedroom, right? Because then at least you've got your own space to yourself. So that would be my preference out of the 2. So yes, rather share a bathroom than a bedroom, for sure. Because, you know, I like my personal space. Just one of those people. So each of the bedrooms, I did a different like color theme in a different bed. Oh, and I managed to slip a little fireplace into this bedroom as well. I hadn't actually used this iron fireplaces yet, so I was actually quite happy to get the opportunity to use that fireplace, because it was the first time I've used this since the Adventure Awaits pack came out, and I was like, oh, because I've been using the stone one all of the time, and this was my first opportunity, well, not necessarily my first opportunity, but the first time that I used that fireplace. And yeah, it was cute. It just fit perfectly into that one grid space, so it was like, yeah, that's perfect for the bedroom. Yes, please. Love it. And I did do, as I said, I think earlier, an activity area up on the stairs here. So the kids have, you know, not the kids, the counselors have some stuff to do when they're hanging out in the evenings. So they've got a game thing that I think they've got some books to read. They've got a dartboard, you know, just some basic kind of camp kind of stuff that I think you could do in the evenings. Just wind down while the kids are kind of off to their own cabins, and you've got a little bit of time on your hands before you pass out because you're so tired from dealing with kids all the time. Which is kind of awesome. And then this is the last camp counselor bedroom. As I said, I did different colors for each one, so I thought that was really cool. Bringing in the things, and did like little bits of decoration on there. Got some space there, and then that takes us through to the cabin. So each of the cabins are basically exactly the same. but I changed the colors on them. And how I organized the cabins is I had like the boys' side and the girls' side. So it's like a mixed summer camp, because I feel like quite often camps will divide that way, right? So there's sort of more the boys' side and there's more the girls' side. So you'll notice that in the colors that I chose for each of the cabins. But I kept the bathrooms and the layout of each the same. So I was just able to copy and paste between each cabin and then just basically change the colors up on them so that, yeah, they were a little bit different, but exactly exactly the same in every cabin. And I feel like that really made sense to do it that way, just because I feel like if you're setting up a summer camp like that, you would do that. You would just have like the same sets of furnishings all throughout, same setup, so it's all the same all the way through. But yeah, there might be just like little differences like the colors and stuff like that, which is exactly what I did. So bunk beds can fit 2 kids in each cabin, which I think is pretty good. And they've got their own personal bathroom as well. And they've got like little activities like paper mache and a desk and little things like that they can do in the evenings in their cabin if they feel like it too. So done all the copy and pasting there. So that's me just going through and changing each of the colors. So greens and blues on the boys side, and I think like pinks and purples on the girls side. I mean, it doesn't really matter. They can sleep wherever they want to sleep and what sort of color cabin they want to sleep in. Anyway, I want to say a big thank you for watching this build. I hope you guys have had fun. Remember, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for me, and likes and comments are always very welcome. Thank you for being so supportive and watching this build today. I always appreciate it. You guys enjoy the tours, and I will catch you next time around. Bye-bye.